You are listening to Cogent Radio, and it's time for Trigger Warning!
Yes, welcome to Trigger Warning. I'm Hayden Hewitt. Now, you'll have to bear with me tonight. Normally, I would do these things with Mr. Showbiz, Graham Booth, but Graham is, unfortunately, very, very poorly at the moment, and is throwing up and evacuating from every orifice in his body, including his pores. So, I hope you get well soon, Graham, if you're listening in there, mate. So it's just me. You're stuck with me. Now, the idea of this was we do a podcast. We record it every Tuesday, normally about this time. And the idea was that, well, with a few of the changes that I'll talk about later on in this show, I don't want to do Trigger Warning wall to wall, but we'll do some live and then we'll record a bit extra for the podcast. But as things turn out, Graham got really sick, but I didn't want to cancel because we haven't done anything for a couple of weeks. So I thought it'd be cool to get something rolling. So this will be released as a podcast and maybe some clips as well, hopefully. I'm also hoping everyone can hear me at the moment. I have no feedback whatsoever as to how well this is working. But tonight we're going to talk about Russia. We're going to talk about Alex Jones, Lawrence Southern, the whole thing around Lawrence Southern and Martin Selling and people like that, and Pizzagate. And that's probably going to be quite a lot. Also Waitrose, which is a supermarket here in the UK, I do want to talk about. If you would like to get in touch during the show, it's going to be tricky. I'm multitasking far more than any male probably should, but you can definitely tweet me. It's at Triggered TV. That's at Triggered TV. We're going out live on Cogent Radio, which is available on cogentradio.com, on triggerwarning.tv/live, where you can chat to other people if they're around, and also on the Cogent Radio app, which is available for Android devices only, because we don't do hipsters here at Trigger Warning. No hipsters. Hipsters are not allowed with your fancy Apple products and your brushed aluminium. No. We don't do that. But if you go to the Google Play Store, you can get the Cogent Radio app where you can listen to live radio podcasts. There's a Trigger Warning podcast on there. There's something like 200 episodes of the Richie Allen Show on there. Game Face Show podcast and On the Left Side podcast. On the Left Side is a new show on Cogent Radio. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. It's a short comedy football podcast. If you're into your football, check it out. And we're also talking with some new people about having shows here on Trigger Warning too, so hopefully we'll be quite busy with that. Okay, that's good. Everyone's telling me they can hear me loud and clear, so that's brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate that. Now, I don't know if you can tell through my honeyed, dulcet tones, I've died of the cold that I contracted. Died of it, and I'm currently dead and decomposing, which means things are coming out of me. So what I've done, if suddenly this erupts into music and song, you'll know I've gone to sort of blow my nose or comb the snot out of my moustache and things of that nature. Now, I want to kick off tonight's show. I'm sure I probably forgot something, but anyway, Russia. Oh, Russia. They only have, as of this recording, which is now 10:33 on, is it the 13th today? I think it's the 13th of March. Russia only has 1.5 hours, in fact less now, to give Britain a reason why their nerve agents were used to poison 2 people in this country. Those 2 people, of course, Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. Our glorious leader, Theresa May, has come out and said that Moscow was highly likely to be responsible. So Putin has until midnight to give a credible explanation as to how these nerve agents, and apparently it is a nerve agent allegedly developed by the Russians, although as far as I know, the composition and how to make this nerve agent hasn't been a secret since about the 80s. And they do manufacture it just down the road from where this happened. They've got till midnight to explain themselves. Or the UK will give a robust response. Now, I've seen a couple of whispers already online, and as you know, I'm not hugely given to conspiratorial thinking. People saying, wouldn't it be nice if we were to remain part of a massive, powerful bloc such as the EU to protect us from things like this? So there's a nice angle people can hitch onto for a little while, isn't it? Let's stay with the EU to protect us from big, nasty Russia. I don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting this is all a false flag and all of these things. I'm not denying it either. I don't know. But Russia do have previous in these sort of things. However, the timing would be odd. What is it, some 100 days before the World Cup? Plenty of other problems going on around the world. Russia has still got to support Turkey in massacring all those Kurds in Syria. So there's a lot going on, which would make it a very unusual time for Russia to do something like this, in my mind. But I was also wondering what sort of robust responses could we give? I suppose the weakest, and the one I expect, is the expelling of diplomats. Now, this is nothing new. Nothing more than chess to most countries. The expulsion of diplomats. Moscow, not that long ago, expelled some US diplomats when Trump, bit of a faux pas there, mixing up Trump and Russia. I wonder how that happened. When Trump decided on sanctions against Moscow, which he never enacted, by the way, diplomats are expelled. It's a common thing to do. The impact would be negligible, wouldn't it? It'd be the least you'd expect. It's like handbags, isn't it, for countries that standing there throwing spitballs at each other, you know. So I imagine that's probably what we'll do. I suppose another option would be to launch a cyber attack. I'm not convinced by that one. I don't know that would directly affect Putin. It would just give him more ammunition to carry out, his version of events in terms of persecution from the West. There've been noises on the BBC, of all places, of shutting down RT, getting Ofcom to revoke their license. Don't like that. Don't like that. If only because it stinks a little, doesn't it? But again, not really effective. I mean, RT only have a tiny percentage of the viewership here in the UK. A tiny percentage. And again, probably more propaganda value to Russia than any sort of effective punishment. So what can we do? We can't go to war with them. Although Russia aren't the powerhouse that they proclaim themselves to be, we are most assuredly not the powerhouse we'd like to think we were. Our armed forces have been decimated, and we're just not capable. And also, who wants that? Who wants a war? So war's out, cyber attack, getting rid of RT. Don't really buy that either, to be honest. Seems like it'd suck a little. Expelling diplomats. There we go. Some of the guys with the briefcases home. I think if you really wanted to affect Putin, it would have to be the seizing of assets of high-ranking Russian officials and the like, and people connected to them. A lot of their assets are sunk into London in terms of property. Many of them probably love the idea of a nice, peaceful retirement in the UK with their millions upon millions of dollars earned, I'm sure, quite honestly. I don't want to be the victim of a nerve agent attack, for fuck's sake. So I think that would be the one, wouldn't it? If we were really serious, if we knew it was them, and we could prove it was them, proof would be nice. The way forward would be to seize the assets of high-ranking Russian officials, people of that nature, and that's the only way you'd hurt Putin, is to hurt his friends. But as usual in the media, and I'm sure someone like Richie will have been all over this like a rash. I'm sure many other people have as well. Is the lack of questions being asked, even really simple ones. If it is this nerve agent that's so much more deadly than sarin, and I have no reason to say it isn't, I'm not a toxicologist. I forgot the word for a minute then. I was going to say poison expert, but that's not quite right, is it? Poison expert. Toxicologist. If it is so deadly, so dangerous, so disgusting, and everything's infected, why has nobody else got ill? Why has nobody else got ill? Why isn't everybody dead? And just simple questions like that don't seem to be getting answered. But then again, they're not being asked. So why would they be answered if the mainstream media isn't asking? But the mainstream media isn't there, as we know, to ask questions. They're there to do as they are told and further anything else that goes along. Other stories have quite conveniently dropped off the radar over this, including the Jeremy Corbyn signing up for the anti-Semitic sort of Facebook group. It wasn't a Facebook group dedicated to anti-Semitism. It was a pro-Palestinian Facebook group that just so happened to have masses of anti-Semitic and Holocaust denial material on there. But of course, Jeremy Corbyn, in the great tradition of politicians, didn't remember signing up. And after not remembering to sign up, remembered that he only posted a couple of times anyway, and then left. Wonderful politician answer. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like the anyone but that they had in the States, isn't it? The Tories are so dreadful, people will forgive Jeremy Corbyn anything. Excuse me. And I also think that part of this is because anti-Semitism is kind of the more accepted form of bigotry in this country at the moment. It's the one we're a little more lenient upon. And I'm not talking about those guys who say, no, I've not got a problem with Jews, it's just Israel, and then proceed to tell me why Jews are evil. I just mean in general, anti-Semitism seems to, for all the way people complain about, like the Zionist movements and, you can't say a thing about Jews, it seems to me a lot of people manage it. Between hating Jews and hating Muslims, it's like a two-horse race at the moment, isn't it? But anyway, anti-Semitism seems to get a pass from the left. Anti-Islam gets a pass from the right. Jeremy Corbyn's getting his pass on that, which is nice. Also, to throw in the mix, remember, there are those £800,000 or so donations made to the Tory party from Russian oligarchs. I imagine that might have some kind of impact on proceedings, because they say everybody's got the price for £800,000. I'd pretty much say Russia was okay. Yeah, no problem. I'd sell out in a fucking heartbeat. But they don't seem to want me in the NWO or the Illuminati for some reason. Apparently fat, shouty Mancunians aren't what they need. Right, I've got to move on here because I've just realised there's already 15 minutes gone. Because I didn't want to. Everyone's talking about Russia and things at the moment, and we'll see how that one pans out. I'll be waiting till midnight for Russia's non-answer. Oh, hang on, I have to refresh. I have to look at Twitter on my phone because my poor laptop is just it's being hammered. Let's bring up the trigger warning just in case. No one ever tweets during shows anyway. That's old hat, but it's at Triggered TV. If you'd like to, please feel free to. It'd be lovely to hear from you because I'm all on my own. Did I mention Graham's poorly? He doesn't like to talk about it, but he's very, very poorly. He's been sick, probably had a diarrhea, and as far as I can tell, his young daughter tried to waterboard him during the night as well. So it's going tough for our Graham, but he's soldiering through, and hopefully he'll be well enough for Thursday when we convene for Trigger Warning TV, and of course Game Face show as well, which if you don't watch that, you should. Game Face show every Thursday, 8 p.m. On the internet. Just look up Game Face show anywhere and you'll find it. And a couple of hours after that, you got Trigger Warning TV as well, which is nice. I want to talk about Alex Jones. Now, I've mentioned Alex Jones from time to time, but it does seem he's kind of getting the shitty end of the stick at the minute, isn't he? Problems with YouTube. Obviously hugely more dramatic than they were, but I digress. Problems with YouTube. Ex-members of staff trying to claim that he's a racist and a bully and a sexist and misogynist and all these things. He had to backtrack over Pizzagate, didn't he? Had to apologise to, was it the ice cream maker or yogurt maker? It's just not been great for Alex of late, and it's not getting better. I learned of this last night whilst watching one of his videos, which we'll reference shortly. But he's being sued for defamation over some claims he made regarding the Charlottesville alt-right kind of right-wing protest where people were hurt and killed. A protester who filmed it, Brennan Gilmore, he filmed also the violence at that white supremacist rally, let's call it what it is, which was last year in Virginia. He's sued InfoWars, saying the site stoked conspiracy theories that he was working as a deep state operative for the government. He's claiming that Jones, the website, and several of his contributors made false and defamatory statements by claiming he had an axe to grind in recording the event. Now, they're seeking, by the way, he's seeking, it's a group that's put this in, the lawsuit for him. Georgetown University Law School's Civil Rights Clinic, no less, alleges the defendants caused irreparable damage to Gilmore's reputation and threatened his physical and emotional well-being. And I can believe that, because when these guys speak out about you, it's an army that mobilizes, whether it's just to harass you on Twitter or in real life. One time on Twitter I called Mark Dice a twat, which I thought was reasonable, because Mark Dice, the man's a twat. What can you say? He's dreadful. Just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean anything, just my opinion, and he's free to disagree if he wishes. But of course, one retweet from those guys and you have all their followers pissing and moaning at you. All of them just brain dead followers who think they're like, we aren't the sheep, we're the visionaries, our minds are open. You're the sheep, guys. Don't you worry about it, you're the sheep. And that's what happens when, like, this Gilmore chap, he'd have been bombarded, but the truth is, this has been coming. Now, InfoWars are going to sell this as a conspiracy to shut down freedom of speech and alternative media revealing the truth behind things, and probably going to quite seriously affect Alex's efforts at selling you shit you don't need. To be fair, but the truth is, for years, Alex, and don't get me wrong, for all I say negative about him, the guy's a very shrewd operator, clearly a good businessman, clearly knows exactly what he's doing, a very professional broadcaster. He's on it, okay? And there's much to admire about the guy as well. But regardless, his ambition was to take InfoWars into up there, okay? Really up there. To be recognised by the mainstream, to be this alternate voice. And, he had an interview with Trump. He spoke to Trump. He apparently went on to speak to him more. Whatever. Thing is, when you raise your head that high above the parapet, people do start to take notice. Now, all these media organisations always look to shit on each other's chips. It's what they do. It's what they live for. They fucking love it. If CNN could catch Fox out the way everyone's catching Jones out, they'd be doing it day and night, and do, okay? All the Fox followers say it's fake news, and when Fox finds someone on CNN, all the CNN followers say it's republicard nonsense. You know the score. But for years, Alex has been going on about stuff like Sandy Hook and Pizzagate. I mean, that nearly got someone fucking killed. Charlottesville, Las Vegas, and Parkland, and he goes on about all these things. He talks such crazy bullshit about Satanists and all things of that nature. He's taking into a realm of fantasy, which really resonates with his core, okay? It really does. It really, really resonates with his listeners. But he's always gotten away with it because people have gone, it's that conspiracy dude, whatever. Doesn't matter. He's just, out there on the internet, and, people listen to him, but not that many compared to CNN or anything like that. But, he got bigger, he got louder, he got brasher, he got more confident, but he didn't choose his words because he has to appeal to his core. He has to give them what they want, or they will tune out. They will turn on him. He set his stall out. He has to sell his wares. So all of a sudden, everyone's noticing, hang on, you're accusing people of being crisis actors or whatever. You're calling people Satanists, demon worshippers, child abusers. You're talking about things like Pizzagate and perpetuating ridiculous myths that have no basis in proof. That's not me saying none of this could ever have happened. There's not proof. And the people that scream at me about this say, yeah, there is proof. It's not proof. Okay, and you can go on all day and night about, well, the truth is kept silent and blah, blah, blah. We know bad shit happens, okay? But that still doesn't take away from the fact you don't have the proof. And when you accuse people of terrible things, you better make sure you've got the proof. And I don't mean the Alex Jones version of, I got the documents, and never show the documents. That's not proof. That's bullshit. If you're going to make these accusations, you better back them up. Now, his soy boy plump-lipped helper, Paul Joseph Watson, he tends to stick to a slightly different script, plays it a lot safer, talks a lot about Islam and leftists and things like that. But occasionally he gets stuck in as well. And this is what's going to happen. Paint it whatever conspiracy you want. You cannot make these kind of accusations about people without proof. If you're going to be up there saying, yeah, we're a news organization. Okay, can't do it. You've either got to be under the radar or so far above the radar they can't touch you. So shit just slides off. Alex doesn't occupy those kind of positions. Never has, probably never will. Looks to all intents and purposes, one way or the other, they're going to try and shut him down somehow, at least to calm him down a little bit. So yeah, he's been sued and could bankrupt him. So expect a lot more videos selling stuff. But what caught my attention last night, I watched an InfoWars video. I don't often watch them, but I was sat up, couldn't sleep because of my deadness. Terrible illness that only men can understand the depths of my illness. I hope you're nodding right now, Graham. I know you can feel it. I know you feel it deep down. And I watched a video, and it was the title was Exclusive, which isn't hard, to be fair, is it, when it's about you? Leftists sue Alex Jones for questioning Charlottesville MSM PR campaign. I was expecting a good rant, about leftists shutting down, things like good Alex stuff. But when I first tuned in, there were scenes from The Hobbit, which I'm not sure about, and he was comparing Gandalf to a Christ-like figure being beaten down by the satanic image of Sauron and how this is Hollywood. It all kind of a bit weird. I was expecting him to defend his position, get on about freedom of speech and things like that. But the strange thing was, it went in a kind of really, really weird direction. I'm going to play you a little bit of audio now.
I'm willing to be guided by God Almighty, the creator of the universe, and the four corners of the 12th dimensional helix that is the giant hourglass in a moose head on fire that is God's mind. Universe looks like a moose head in my mind. Big fire in the center and those spokes going out. And all I know is I want to go with that consciousness. I want more of that. And the more I fight the evil and the more I commit, the closer I get, until it is unbelievable, the understanding and the crystalline vision. And so I just leave it in God's hands. I give it to God. I commit myself to Christ. I commit myself to the Christ energy. I commit myself to the mind of God. And I ask to be purified so that I cannot have toeholds the enemy can grab. And it's like, I'm a Christian, but to go into the Zen I love my family and I care about them, but the attachment is lost as like rocket boosters fall off the space shuttle.
Alex, we were talking about this guy suing you when you accused him of being some kind of deep state operative. Could we get back to the lawsuit thing, please, Alex? If we could just get back to that, that'd be really good.
It goes into orbit. They just fall away because I have to be pure and focused and turn loose of it. And it's the turning loose of all the flesh in the world that is the transcendent moment. And it's not about me, it's about you. You're already feeling that. You're already feeling the psychic connection to your fellow humans.
I'm not feeling the psychic connection, Alex, if I'm honest.
And that's what they fear. That's what they're trying to jam. Humanity is beginning a metamorphosis. We are transcending right now, and that's all that matters. The flesh will go. It'll all drop. But there's a next level, and we need to get as many people to resonate with that because God is about free will and to transcend.
We got to resonate people and transcend. I hope you're resonating.
Let it be stated that no one that thinks humanity's ugly and fallen will ever transcend. All these things are going to merge the computers and become gods. That's all a lie. This whole bizarre race towards immortality is a joke because you already spiritually have immortality. It's all a facsimile, a distorted hallucination, believing in perfection when perfection has already been attained.
Okay, I can't handle any more of that bollocks. Listen, this is what he did. He went on a massive rant. He sounded like some kind of, it was like a preacher, on and on and on about God and Jesus and transcending in the flesh for me, blurting out various keywords in various combinations so his listeners would buy it. And it just literally, it went on for ages, and I was really confused. I know he's supposed to be a performance artist. I'm aware of that. But I was very confused that where this was going. If I was being sued and I needed followers to help me out here a little bit, I would probably focus on that. I mean, wouldn't you? Instead of going, I need to talk about how I'm the space shuttle and my booster's falling off. What the fuck are you talking about, Alex? But of course, much of it became clear at the end of the broadcast. Much of it became very clear.
So excited. The new product at InfoWarsLife.com in a glass bottle, 2-month servings, filled to the brim, filled to the absolute top, the real red pill.
Red pill. He's selling you red pills in a glass bottle, filled to the top, to the brim. Because otherwise, it'd be empty. Yeah, half empty. No, Alex isn't a bottle half empty kind of guy. He's selling you a bottle of red pills so you could be red pilled. I have to know if these things contain soy. I really do. This is amazing. Basically, this whole thing is an infomercial. Now, we all know that he's a genius of monetizing his traffic and his audience. He's very, very good at it. But fucking hell, guys, he's been giving you an hour of persecution, Christ, Jesus, God, all this devil and all this bullshit, and then selling you a bottle of red pills. What do red pills do?
This is a heart and brain pill.
Oh, the red pill is a heart and brain pill. It's very good for your heart and your brain.
A nootropic that doesn't have any stimulants in it.
A nootropic without any stimulants in it. I don't know. I don't understand.
But boy, does it stimulate, because it's...
No stimulants, but it stimulates.
Beyond that. Quite frankly, I just went off what I saw medical doctors prescribing to their patients, but it wasn't prescription, but they were charging people $100, $200.
Okay, so he saw medical doctors as opposed to, I'm guessing, non-medical doctors prescribing their patients non-pharmaceutical tablets for $100, $200. And he thought, I think we can do better for our people.
For the formulae And I came up with our own formula working with some scientists and developers.
Scientists and developers working with Alex Jones came up with your red pill.
Non-GMO, made right here in America, 120 capsules. And ladies and gentlemen, you add the pregnenolone to it, which is the precursor to all the hormones that your body has to have.
So, add the precursor to hormones to the red pills, and you'll be stimulated with no stimulants, and you'll have a pill for your heart and brain. Doesn't say what it does to your heart and brain. Apparently it supports optimal brain function. I fucking love this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's no super male vitality. But yeah, if you sat through this last night, you sat through a 1 hour infomercial promising that if you take the red pill, you too will see leftists everywhere have a massive persecution complex, watch The Hobbit and think it's about God and the devil and Hollywood invented it. I didn't have the heart to send him an email to say that The Hobbit kind of was written quite a while ago. I didn't want to do that to him. He probably started shouting about 1776 or something, I don't know. And then he sells you the real red pill. The fucking red pill, come on. Come on, that is fucking beautiful, right? Who doesn't want a bottle of red pill? At $69.99? I don't want a bottle of red pill. I don't care what discounts he's got going on at the moment. If anyone has tried the red pill or super male vitality, do get in touch. Tell me what they're like. I'm not here saying they don't work. I can't make those claims. Never tried them. Don't know what the ingredients are. I'm sure if I had a medical doctor who also happened to just be a chiropractor, he might agree they're great as well. I don't know. Did he take that guy on as one of the guys behind some of that stuff, and he was just like a chiropractor? Surely nobody allows chiropractors to decide anything about it. It's like saying you believe in homeopathic medicine. You know, yeah, if we dilute it many, many times, it will be very, very strong. Hang on. There's been a tweet. Apparently I'm ignoring everyone on the website live page. I can't have all these pages open. But you know what? I'll give it a go just for you. I can't even open another tab here. Hang on. Triggerwarning.tv/live. Ah, dear me. I'm ignoring people. I feel terrible. Yeah, but at least Graham has managed to be there wrapped in his blanket. And, you know, just here we go. There's people here. Hello, people. Let's have a look. There we go. Oh, hello, everybody. I didn't know there was... Oh, Natalie's in there. Great. Graham, are you all right, precious? Are you feeling okay? I hope you're okay. I'm kind of past the news aspect of this now, and I'm just going to be getting ridiculous in a bit. So, we got Mr. Kill, C1. Hello. And lots of Anon Trigger... Well, we got a few Anon Triggerists, which is nice. By the way, guys, you're listening. Next week, we'll be doing this. It'll be myself and Graham, be more like the podcasts, i.e., you know, over an hour of just giggling and talking shite. And then there'll be extra material for extra podcasts out of that. The funny thing is, we always assumed, we used to joke, like, oh, for our 4 listeners or whatever, but the podcast has been doing really well. So it's like, oh, shit, we're being dicks. All these people are listening. We should at least try and give them, you know, a bit extra. Not change things, just a bit extra. Speaking of which, on the trigger warning side of things, a lot of you guys will know we have the Patreon account, and we tried doing extra things for different tiers. But we had a chat last week, Graham and myself, and we're very uncomfortable and always having with the paywall idea. Now, we're hugely thankful to those who do donate. We're nearly at the point of covering costs of trigger warning, which is fantastic. But we can't keep putting things behind a paywall. It doesn't feel good. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave Patreon up. We'll put it down to a $1 tier. If you wish to donate, you can donate $1 or more. You can use Patreon. It goes out every month. Or if you want to support us another way, you can just use PayPal. There's links on the front side. Triggerwarning.tv. And obviously we do appreciate every donation, because it all goes towards sort of running costs, and the more things that we want, you know, the more MOAR that we want to achieve and do with Trigger Warning, but we can't be doing with paywalls. So we just want to give you more content. And, if you want to throw some in the pot, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. If you don't, that's fine anyway. Just listen. Maybe you can't. Maybe you just don't want to. Maybe you just don't like us, but you want to listen anyway. Do it. Listen. It'll be free. 100%. Wonderfully, beautifully free. Although you still won't get those special shows that the patrons got. The $10 patrons. We promised they would always be for them and for nobody else. My phone's saying it can't recognize my voice. I didn't even know I was talking to it. So there we go. Another quick reminder that you can listen to live radio and Trigger Warning, Richie Allen's show on the left side, and Game Face show podcasts on the Cogent Radio app. Available for Android devices on the Google Play Store. Just search for Cogent Radio and it'll be there. No special permissions, doesn't harvest bugger, not even got any ads on it. Worst you get is the occasional notification of a show coming up, but even that's not constant because that'd just annoy me, so there's no reason to do it to everybody else. 100% free. So go and grab that. Be great if you would anyway, because we got some new stuff planned for the radio station that should be pretty cool if it all comes together. Get some new shows on here. Get some more interesting content, which will be nice. Oh, Graham's got blankets all around him. And on Triggerist 2697 in our chat room says, regarding the Alex Jones selling you red pills, there is a guy around the corner from me that's got good shit for a fraction of the price. But are they good for your heart and brain? That's what you got to remember. I can't remember the speech Neo gives in The Matrix. I'm not nearly enough of a conspiracy theorist to fucking memorize these things, but I'm guessing most people who buy them make that speech to themselves in the mirror with the red pill, and if they haven't got a blue pill, they use, like, I don't know, an M&M or something. And will you take the blue pill or the red? And they'll take the red pill every time. And go listen to InfoWars. Oh, dear me. No, I don't need music yet. Remember, if it does, tunes suddenly come on, it's music from the Cogent radio station, all independent artists and unsigned acts and things like that. But if something like that comes on, it's because I have to go and comb snot out of my my moustache or something of that nature. Have a proper cough. Do something because I'm ill. I don't know if I mentioned it yet. I don't like to talk about these things. Very ill. Very ill. Terrible cold. If there's any women in the room, they won't understand. Ovaries prevent you from getting proper colds or something. But us men suffer horribly from these things. It's scientific medical doctors that I spoke to, that I worked with, and developers agree. Male cold is a terrible thing. Much worse than anything women have going on about your periods and back pain. It's nothing compared to this. Believe me, it's hell. It's hell. I hope my wife can't hear, because I'm doing this from home. Isn't technology marvellous? And if anyone listening to this or the podcast, if you're listening in the future, if you'd like to have a show, by the way, or anything like that, get in touch. Get in touch. I can totally hook you up. Totally hook you up. Know what I mean? Sort you right out. Speaking of sorting you right out, Waitrose. Waitrose is a supermarket here in the UK, predominantly used by those people who are aspirationally middle class, I imagine. I've never been in a Waitrose. I don't even know if are there any Waitrose in Manchester. I'm not sure. But a story that caught my wife's eye, and she told me, we've just had Mother's Day. Mothering Sunday, a day where you honour the person who gave birth to you and who nurtured you, and who, for most of us, if we're fortunate enough, was the most important person in your life for a good number of years and remained hugely important to you. Your mother, your mum. Mother's Day. Kind of sacrosanct, isn't it? Motherhood. Well, Waitrose was selling cards, Mother's Day cards, of course, but also U-Day. That's right, U-Day card. Because trans activists complained to Waitrose that Mother's Day, not terribly inclusive. What if you're non-binary? What if you're trans? Got to think of that. I've thought about it. And you lot can go fuck yourselves. And when you finish fucking yourself, go and fuck yourself a little bit harder. Okay? It's got fuck all to do with non-binary. Doesn't matter. If you've given birth to a child, you're a mother. Okay? You can be a good mother, bad mother, indifferent mother. You can think of yourself as he, she, it, they, whatever. Still a mother. Doesn't matter. If you've given birth, you are a mother. Now, you can still be a mum if you didn't give birth to somebody. You can adopt someone. You can be the greatest mother, their mother, but you will be their mother, not their caregiver. Well, heaven help me, carer. Oof, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? That's one of their comments. These people are just their caregivers or the carers. No, it's people with problems that have carers, isn't it? You old people and you disabled people and you things and stuff. They have carers. You're nutcases, lunatics, mentals. They have carers. Kids have parents, if they're lucky. Or guardians, I suppose, if they're not. But even foster parents are parents. Foster mum, foster dad. Your mum, your dad. Don't bring politics into everything, you horrible, horrible bastards. It's dreadful. It's shit, isn't it? You Day. It's not. It's Mother's Day. And if you're not a mother, you've got no business saying anything about it anyway. Go fuck yourself with your non-inclusivity gender bullshit. Oh, I'm just sick and tired of this whole nonsense, you know. I have friends who are trans. I know people that are trans, and they don't talk like this. I think it's not them that are talking like this. I think it's the mealy-mouthed, middle-class, bored, predominantly fucking white people that are just so apologetic for their existence that they look for reasons to persecute themselves and others, you know? Like when you see a man go on about male privilege all the time and toxic masculinity, you just can't help thinking, can you? You weak, submissive asshole. Because it is, isn't it? It's like, I'm, you know, for all the bullshit and everything, I'm all for equal rights. Completely. The equal pay, equal treatment, equal everything. Across the board. Men, women, for LGBT, for trans, whatever. Just equal. Just treat everyone decently. I would never call myself a feminist. That would make no sense whatsoever. I despise this weak, woolly thinking that we undergo now, that a supermarket chain wouldn't just turn around to this tiny percentage of the population and go, sorry you don't feel that Mother's Day includes you. Maybe you can have your own day. But you shouldn't piss on everyone else's chips because you're not happy. Come on now. Be fucking reasonable. You Day. King You Day. Exactly like Graham said there, you want to head to Aldi's. Easter eggs and Mother's Day plastered everywhere, and quite right. Quite right too. I'm an atheist. I fucking love seeing Easter eggs. Christmas trees, Christmas lights. Pictures of that lily-white baby Jesus in his crib surrounded by lily-white parents. I love all that shit. What does it matter? Come on. We need to... This has got to stop. You know, it's like... Is it The Independent when they post on Twitter? Every time it's a story of relationships, it's got to be an LGBT couple. Every time. Doesn't offend me. I don't care. Oh, two men kissing, big fucking wow. But every time, does that not get a bit fucking desperate? You know, it's almost like they're just desperate. We're so right on. We want to trigger people that don't agree with this. I understand that aspect of it. I appreciate the idea of just wanting to trigger people. But if you just want to trigger people, do it out of a sense of fucking mischief, not because you want to be seen as some kind of virtue signaling toe rag. Do it because it's fun. What the fuck do you think I talk about hunting and guns? I can't affect guns in America. Fucking love triggering. Oh, I fucking love triggering gun-owning Americans, though, because they're so butch and so masculine, but boy, do they cry like fucking babies when you start on that shit. I love it. When you pick on English, you know, English nationalists particularly, have a pop at them, they go fucking balmy, because the pussies is brilliant. Do it out of mischief. Do it out of fun. Do it because being a dick is the important thing. Don't do it to look like a nicer person than you actually are. That's a shit way of doing things. Do it to show everyone you're in a dickhead. Okay, I'm not saying be hateful, but for fuck's sake, if you're going to trigger people, do it for the right reasons. Trolling. That's the only fucking reason. So yeah, Waitrose. Fuck you, Waitrose. I think I said that in a tweet. That they didn't get back to me. Strangely enough. Can't imagine why. I was hoping to get like a message from their customer service. Thank you for your concern regarding Waitrose. We're very sorry you felt discomfort at this situation. Thought I might get a free chocolate egg or something. Because they can't call them Easter eggs anymore. Apart from when they do. I put a post up on Twitter about that. Why aren't they called Easter eggs? All the amount of people that agreed with me. It was fucking hilarious. The shops are full of Easter eggs. They've been called chocolate eggs for donkey's years. But I do enjoy that. But speaking about, because we're motoring through this, I'm going to finish on time. You watch, you see if I don't. Fucking pro to the end. Graham will be so proud. Actually, if I'm still listening, it's 10 past 11 now. That's usually when we start the podcast, isn't it? After half an hour, 40 minutes of sitting around chatting shit. A few people have been banned from the UK recently. People who know Lauren Southern, Martin Sellner, and, oh gosh, what's her name? The Sellner's girlfriend, I think, isn't it? Brittany Pettibone. There we go, Brittany Pettibone. Now, Tommy Robinson, who's gone solo with his own venture, and has an Amazon shopping list as well, which is cool. A couple of best-selling books, still wants you to buy his camera equipment for him. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that. Maybe. I can't say we got our hands out begging for trigger warning, haven't we? Although I don't have an Amazon shopping list yet. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. I imagine our viewers and listeners will just say, go fuck yourself. But Lauren Southern ties into the last story a little bit, where I rambled off with anyway, people just reading and reacting. And I bumped into it today. Okay, you go online, and there was a story about a dog walker who left some dogs in a van and they died. Horrible story. But one guy put, fuck the owners, put them in prison. So I simply asked, well, what have the owners done? He blocked me, and someone else called me a stupid something or other that I don't say on the radio. I'll say on Thursday night on the TV show. I just realised it's my radio station. I make my own rules, don't I? Do what I want. Yeah, call me a stupid cunt. Anyway, call me that, and fair enough, whatever. But this is the problem. People just read headlines. They just read headlines and go, yeah. But even more alarming is people just accept somebody else's word for something online because they're a personality to them. Okay? Graham, what have you sent me here? Oh, look at that. Honeycomb mashup Easter egg made in Britain. Fantastic. That gives me a bit of patriotic wood, Graham. Thank you very much. You can see that on the @TriggeredTV on Twitter. The post from Mr. Showbiz there. Honeycomb mashup Easter egg made in Britain. If that doesn't give you patriotic wood, nothing will. Or if you're a lady, patriotic wide, I expect. There we go. Fantastic. Oh, that felt good. Where was I? I was enjoying that far too much. Hang on, I'm around here somewhere. So, yeah, people accepting anything. God, that looks nice as well. That no, never mind. You don't have sugar now, Hayden. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Except you're probably going to eat biscuits after you finish this. So who are we fucking kidding? Just go and get an egg. Lauren Southern. Right-wing sort of lady, alt-right kind of lady from the States or Canada, somewhere like that. Somewhere dreadful and colonial. Locked out of the UK. They said, we don't want you here. You're a racist. We don't want you here. Now, this is the lady who, you know, Paul Golding and Jada Franson, leaders of Britain First. Terrible, terrible individuals, got banged up in prison for 18 and 36 weeks, respectively. They were imprisoned, according to Lauren Southern, for speaking out against Islam. That's what she said. And everyone piled in. Dirty bastards. Oh, why are they doing this to them? And, oh, you can't say anything about Islam anymore. Oh, truth is, they weren't jailed for that. They were jailed for basically harassing innocent people, not connected to a rape case that was going on. They endangered the case against the rapist with their behaviour. By the way, the accused were found guilty and imprisoned anyway. But because of the harassment, a woman had a miscarriage. They gave out people's addresses that weren't remotely connected to it. They acted like despicable fucking arseholes, and they were put away for it, and quite right too. If all they'd done was speak out against Islam, I'd never say imprison them. It's ridiculous. I hate the idea of that. But these people did bad things, so they do time. Tough shit. Although I did find it absolutely beautiful when Donald Trump retweeted some of Jada Franson's tweets. So she thought, he'll save me, and reached out to the Donald. Save me. He didn't save her. Sarah Lauren Southern is one of those people. She'll say, she's got that core, vehemently anti-Islam and all these things, and she was not allowed in for being a racist. I struggle with this. I do struggle with this because part of me believes that goes against everything we believe in terms of freedom of speech. You have to let these people in. You should challenge them. I don't even like no platforming. When that was done to, was it Sargon of Akkad? I don't know what his fucking name is. Anyway, being no platformed, I don't believe in it. Everything's incitement to hatred nowadays. You can't criticize anything. When you do talk about perceived issues of and real issues of Islam in our culture, and it's usually more intertwined with the location that these people are from and the culture they're bringing from them there, which is all mixed in with the religion and the local cultures, and it's not really very conducive to harmonious living in the West, and they're just being dumped in our streets, and there you go, and yeah, you'll fit in just fine, and of course they don't. These are where the problems come from, but even to talk about this, you're walking on eggshells of being deemed racist. But she wasn't the only one kicked out. Tommy interviewed Martin Sellner and Brittany Pettibone. I keep forgetting her name. Why do I forget such a startlingly different name, Brittany Pettibone? Anyway, it's being sold that we're not letting these journalists in our country, and it's disgusting. These are just journalists. And partly, I do agree we should be letting them in. But, again, bit of finagling of the truth going on here. They're just journalists, right? Of course they are. Martin Sellner wants to get a boat to chase migrants back to Africa. Fires flares at them and shit like that. He's not really an all-round great guy, which is not a reason not to let him in the country, but he's not a great guy at all. Identitarian, apparently. That's nice. Brittany Pettibone. Surely she's a lovely lady. She just wanted to interview Tommy Robinson. She is a lovely lady, also known as a Pizzagate expert. That's right, she helped propagate the rumours that nearly got someone killed about the activities at a basement in a pizza shop that doesn't actually have a fucking basement, okay? She's not good people either. Let's have a look at it. I mean, she tried to do a GoFundMe, wasn't it? Late 2016. What was that GoFundMe for? It was for a podcast. Internet Revolts, yeah. Here we go. She focuses on things like the cluster of paedophile-related businesses in Northwest Washington, D.C. You know exactly who she is. Exactly what she does. Now, I've already said I kind of have a free speech objection in terms of not letting these people in. But if you're not going to let people in because they bring bile and hatred of them, the least I expect is that you apply this equally across the board. And it doesn't seem that we do that. But we do reject some hate preachers. It has happened. Not as often as I'd like, but it does happen. But who remembers back? It was 10 years ago now. Ken Livingstone he shared a platform with Yusuf Al-Qadawi. This is the guy who described homosexuality as an unnatural and evil practice, and said the Quran permitted wife beating in certain circumstances. And he also advocated the use of Palestinian children as suicide bombers, which is a wonderful chap. Egyptian-based cleric. We've had politicians sharing platforms with people like that, inviting them over, rolling out the red carpet. And every time this happens, and it doesn't happen all the time, but we've seen it with the Al-Quds March and things that are said there, and people are coming from abroad there, and the influence that comes from abroad. Our politicians standing shoulder to shoulder with people under a righteous banner of justice for Palestinian people, or at least, let's not kill as many Palestinian people. But it never ends there. If you're going to be banning people like Lauren Southern, Martin Sellner and Brittany Pettibone, fine, because they are hateful people. They're not coming here to do us any favours. They are coming to sow discord. So if you're going to do that, okay, I can't stop it. I disagree. But you better apply these rules fucking reasonably and fairly. I want every other fucker banned now. Hell, I want all those people that say it's my mission to hate Britain and kill British people. These British citizens say that shit. I want them fucking deported. But we've already been over that in previous shows. Apparently I've been informed that you're not allowed to deport people who are British citizens. And apparently my idea of putting one on an uninhabited island off Scotland isn't a goer either. So I don't know what you pussies want to do with these people. Me personally, get rid of all of them. So, be interesting to know. Get in touch with the league. Well, do you think we should have let them in? Do you think we were right to say, no, you can't come in because you're very horrible people? I think, isn't Tommy Robinson banned from going to the US? I'm not sure. I might be making that up, actually. I'm sure he was. Let's have a look. There's still people in the chat room as well. That's fantastic. We're coming up to time. Oh, my word. That's gone quickly. There'll be no extra this week because I'm doing it on my own. We will be back with another Trigger Warning radio show. By the way, the time might move around a little. We'll let you know in plenty of time until we find something we're comfortable with. Maybe when we get the studio more rigged up for audio, might do something down there. I don't know. Maybe after Richie. We'll have to look at that, won't we? But we'll be back next Thursday with a live show. This will be released as a podcast this week. In future, there'll be at least 2 podcasts coming out per week, which aren't you lucky people? Because how we used to do it is we'd have the podcast and then we'd go on afterwards and it'd be a little bit darker and more unpleasant. So we're going to do that, a similar sort of thing. Going forward, it'll be a live radio show. And of course, we're back on Thursdays at 10 p.m. British summertime with the Trigger Warning TV show, which is brilliant and wonderful and a huge amount of fun and a little bit more shouty than this. Probably because I don't record that in the same house as my sleeping son, who did the intro for the show. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. I was very proud of him. Yeah, more on that next time. But listen, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope it's been okay, me just trundling through this on my own. Not something I'm used to doing. And it is kind of strange sitting at your kitchen table, talking into a microphone at people on the internet. If you're listening to this in the future on a podcast, thanks to you as well. Do listen to the others. They're not really like this one. But we will be back. Come join us on Thursday. And after that, we're back with podcasts and radios, just all kinds of shit. You don't know how lucky you are. What a time to be alive. And more news about Trigger Warning and Cogent Radio coming soon. And one last plug for Cogent Radio, please. This is a new project that we're getting off the ground. Go download the app if you've got an Android device, i.e. if you're a decent human being, from the Google Play Store. There are no plans for an Apple app at this point because it's just Apple are difficult. But do go download the app, listen in. We carry a few great shows already, and there's lots more stuff coming as well, which would be brilliant. And it'd be great to get your feedback on that as well. But do hang out at triggerwarning.tv. There's forums there that we're just not using, but I might have to take those away and put a social networking site in. You have to rejoin because I'm not connecting it to the main site. But I wonder what a trigger warning version of Facebook could be like. Oh, that could be dirty rude good. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that. I'm not going to say I will because then I'll have to and I'll end up doing it tomorrow. But I think I'll do that. Trigger warning version of Facebook. That would be beautiful. Yes. Right, I am going. Otherwise I'll end up staying and that wouldn't be good for any of us, would it? Please keep in touch through the week. Do catch up with some of the podcasts and I'll hopefully speak to you guys again very, very soon, possibly even Thursday, I'd guess, wouldn't it? Okay, until then, have a great week and bye-bye.